Often in life, the best ideas are the simplest ones. In the case of the crossover, it's take the practicality of a bigger SUV-type body and add it to a car that's as easy to drive as a hatchback. And for a lot of manufacturers, that simple recipe has turned out to be big business. South Africans especially go nuts for the things, and what started as a group of good but quite straightforward cars has evolved into many different brands, all offering their own take on what a crossover should be. And now Toyota has brought us the CHR, which is again quite a different offering in quite a ubiquitous class. Looking at it, it seems they've taken a few design ideas from that other Toyota brand, Lexus. And while it works, there are some areas where it's trying a little bit too hard, like the positioning of the rear door handles. The origami approach is unique, although it won't please everybody. It does turn heads though. Within just a few hours of driving the CHR around town, there were more than a few fingers pointed and lingering looks at traffic lights. The CHR takes Toyota's recently found progressive styling approach and distills it even more. This is a car with a look that sets it apart instantly, and truth be told, if it didn't have the badges, I'd need convincing that it was actually a Toyota. And they've kept that theme for the interior. The things worth mentioning in here aren't really about the spec, although you do get USB and Bluetooth and electronic park brake, dual zone climate control, cruise control. But for me, the more interesting thing is its mix of a different design approach with different materials and some very nice details. Geometric shapes abound, but rather than being a distraction by looking a bit afterthoughtish, the whole design fits together really well. The center console sits quite high up and is a concentrated collection of switchgear. The touchscreen audio system is familiar from other Toyota models. The materials, and there are a lot of them, from the diamond pattern door inserts to the piano black inlays, also work well together, and despite being completely black, this interior is far from dull. But it's also where you'll find a few of the CHR's shortcomings. The shape of the rear doors means there's some bending to be done when you get in, and once you're in, the space is good, but the view out the back is limited thanks to the large slab of plastic used to line the door. The boot is also compromised by the inclusion of a full-size spare and is one of the smallest in its class. There is only one engine choice in the CHR lineup. It's Toyota's brand new 1.2-litre turbo petrol. And while it doesn't have lashings of power, its 85 kilowatts and 185 newton meters are delivered quite smoothly and quite satisfyingly. Gearbox choices, there is a CVT or this very good 6-speed manual with Toyota's IMT technology. Ostensibly, that bit of tech is there to match the engine revs to the road speed, and it does that by blipping the throttle on downshifts. What that means practically is smoother gear changes on the way down. What it does for driver enjoyment is give you a bit of audible involvement and make sure the power is available as soon as possible. The CHR has a setup that at least tries to deliver some enthusiasm, and generally it is enjoyable, even if some of its tech doesn't quite deliver. It has a sport mode, although I prefer to think of it more as a fun mode, because while it will deliver good grip while driving a little bit enthusiastically, it doesn't take too much to get the tyres to squeal and the electronics to start dancing. So while the CHR doesn't mind a decent set of corners, it also doesn't really take itself too seriously. And it's definitely happier driving like a responsible citizen. The suspension setup is firm without being uncomfortable. The steering has just the right amount of weight to it. The CHR definitely takes more from the hatchback side of its genetic makeup than anything else, and it's generally a very easy, very comfortable thing to live with. I don't think I'm the only person to look at the CHR and think Nissan Juke, but I'm not going to compare the two. Alright, I am. For me, they have very similar characteristics. They're both trying to be different with interesting styling inside and out, but for me, the CHR is a little bit, I don't know, less silly. It seems to be the more convincing package. In a lot of ways, and despite its very different exterior and interior, it has a very strong dose of that Toyota sensibility. So it'll say something about your millennial sense of style, but at the same time point to the fact that, in essence, you're still a little old school and like to play it safe. I started out by saying that crossovers are big business, and Toyota has stepped into the arena to take on everybody from rival Japanese brand Nissan to newcomers like Opel and Fiat. But the CHR seems to have hit the sweet spot between interesting design inside and out, usable space and a comfortable drive, all at the right price. Toyota have dropped their brand new 1.2-litre turbo petrol motor into the CHR, and while it's not a cracker of a motor, it delivers a steady stream of power, good for most driving situations. Highlights include a nicely done interior and an enjoyable drive, but the boot is on the small side for its class, and the back seat might make some feel a little claustrophobic.